Donald Trump is unstoppable. Elect him president again, and America will be unstoppable too. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's been out of it. Democrats have been hiding the real Biden for years. We saw people in the witness protection program more often than we saw unscripted Biden. Under Biden-Harris, America has fallen sicker, lonelier, and poorer. Under Trump, we prospered, we were richer, inflation was low, and there were two genders.
As the Republican National Convention, or RNC, unfolded in Milwaukee, an unexpected star emerged, not for their political prowess, but for their dramatically altered appearance. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz took the stage, but it wasn't his fiery rhetoric that set social media ablaze. Instead, it was his startlingly transformed visage that left viewers stunned and speculation running wild. What exactly happened to Matt Gaetz's face? The transformation that shocked the RNC. As the lights dimmed and the crowd hushed, anticipation filled the air in Milwaukee. The stage was set for another night of impassioned speeches and political rallying. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz strode confidently to the podium, ready to deliver his address. But as cameras zoomed in, a collective gasp rippled through the audience, both in the convention hall and across millions of screens nationwide. The Matt Gaetz standing before them was not the same man they had seen just days before. Gone were the subtle lines that once graced his forehead, replaced by a smooth, almost glass-like surface that reflected the harsh stage lights. His eyebrows, once naturally arched, now seemed to defy gravity, reaching for his hairline in a perfect, if somewhat startling, curve. The overall effect was striking, a face that appeared simultaneously ageless and yet somehow not quite human. Social media exploded within minutes, side-by-side comparisons of Gaetz from earlier in the week versus his appearance that night flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Memes comparing the congressman from everything to cartoon villains to alien life forms spread like wildfire. The political discourse of the evening was all but forgotten as viewers fixated on the mystery of Gaetz's transformation. As the night wore on, the speculation only intensified. Beauty experts, plastic surgeons, and armchair commentators all weighed in with their theories. Had Gaetz undergone a last-minute cosmetic procedure? Was it simply an overzealous makeup artist with a heavy hand? Or perhaps, as some jokingly suggested, had the stress of political life finally caused him to snap and replace himself with an android doppelganger? The following day, as clips of his speech circulated, it wasn't his words that made headlines, but his appearance. News outlets scrambled to book plastic surgeons and dermatologists for their morning shows, all eager to dissect the before and after images that had captivated the nation. In the halls of the convention center, fellow politicians whispered and speculated. Some expressed concern, others amusement, but all agreed on one thing: Matt Gaetz's face had become the unexpected star of the RNC. Expert analysis. What the surgeons say. In the wake of Matt Gaetz's startling transformation at the Republican National Convention, the medical community found itself thrust into the spotlight. Plastic surgeons and dermatologists across the country were inundated with requests for their professional opinions, turning a political event into a nationwide cosmetic surgery consultation. Dr. Gary Modicki, a renowned plastic surgeon to the stars, was among the first to weigh in on the Gaetz phenomenon. His trained eye immediately zeroed in on the congressman's forehead, noting the telltale signs of recent Botox injections. The unnaturally smooth expanse above Gaetz's eyebrows spoke volumes, suggesting a heavy-handed approach that left little room for natural movement or expression. But it wasn't just Botox that caught the doctor's attention. The dramatic arch of Gaetz's eyebrows, reminiscent of a certain pointy-eared Star Trek character, indicated a combination of treatments. The surgeon hypothesized that a mix of strategically placed Botox and possibly even a thread lift could have contributed to the exaggerated brow elevation. According to her, quote, "A common mistake that some of these people make is to think, oh, I want to look great for the RNC, and then they go and get Botox or filler a week or two before. The problem is it doesn't always settle in time, meaning they can look poofy or overdone at the convention, but more natural 2 weeks later." Across the country in Miami, the social media savvy Dr. Michael Salzhauer, better known as Dr. Miami, offered his own colorful analysis. He pointed out the timing of Gaetz' transformation, noting that Botox usually takes about a week to fully settle. This observation led to speculation about last-minute touch-up gone awry, perhaps in an attempt to freshen up for the big event that backfired spectacularly. Meanwhile, board-certified dermatologist Dr. Corey L. Hartman brought attention to the nuances of male facial anatomy in cosmetic procedures. He emphasized how the same techniques used for female patients can produce dramatically different results on men, potentially explaining the feminine quality of Gaetz' new look. As these experts dissected every aspect of Gaetz' appearance, from his impossibly smooth forehead to his curiously plump cheeks, a consensus began to emerge. The prevailing theory suggested a combination of treatments: Botox in the forehead and around the eyes, dermal fillers in the cheeks and possibly the lips, and potentially even a chemical peel or laser treatment to account for the overall tightness of the skin. But all the surgeons agreed on one crucial point. Whatever procedures Gaetz may have undergone, the key issue was not the treatments themselves, but rather their apparently rushed and heavy-handed application. In their professional opinions, this was a case study in the importance of subtlety and proper timing in cosmetic enhancements, especially for public figures under constant scrutiny. The politics of appearance in the GOP. The Matt Gaetz incident at the RNC served as a stark reminder of an often unspoken truth in American politics. Appearance matters, perhaps nowhere more so than within the GOP. This preoccupation with image is not merely about vanity, it's a calculated strategy deeply ingrained in the party's ethos. In recent years, a trend has emerged among prominent Republican figures, with many seemingly embracing cosmetic enhancements as readily as they do conservative policies. Kimberly Guilfoyle, a former Fox News personality and partner to Donald Trump Jr., has become almost unrecognizable from her earlier days. Her transformation a testament to the power of modern cosmetic procedures. Even the party's standard-bearer, Donald Trump himself, has long been the subject of speculation regarding hair transplants and skin treatments. The phenomenon isn't limited to those in the Trump orbit. George Santos, the controversial congressman from New York, faced scrutiny not just for his fabricated resume, but also for his apparently ever-changing appearance. Meanwhile, RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel's evolving look has been the subject of whispered conversations in Washington circles. The trend reflects a deeper tension within conservative politics. On the one hand, the GOP often positions itself as the party of traditional values, championing authenticity and railing against the perceived excesses of Hollywood and coastal elites. On the other, there's an undeniable pressure within the party to project an image of vitality, strength, and youth, qualities that in the age of high-definition television and relentless social media scrutiny increasingly seem to require a little artificial assistance. As Matt Gaetz discovered, there's a fine line between enhancement and distraction. When a politician's appearance becomes the story, it can overshadow their message and policy positions. Dr. Michael Salzhauer, aka Dr. Miami, offered a balanced perspective on Gaetz' new appearance. Quote, "I mean, looks good," Salzhauer says of the congressman's new mug, except for the position of the brows being too high and surprised and weird looking. Now it's time to hear from you. How much does looking young affect our politicians? Let us know in the comments section below.